Hello everyone, it's me CJ and welcome to another video. Got this UPS box here. Excuse me, USPS. Don't want to disrespect the postal service. What is in this box? Why am I filming a video? Well, it was probably going to be something significant, isn't it, if you read the title? Well, spill the beans. Let's not make you wait any longer. There we go. Take a look at this. I haven't figured out what it is yet. This might be of some use to you. So yeah, this is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 Ti graphics card. And this in particular is a Dell OEM model. So that's why it's got this black with a green motherboard design. And yep, this is the final upgrade to my computer. I've been trying to get this great gaming setup going with my HP Z440. And I've made videos about that, but I was waiting to get a great graphics card, and now I finally have one. So let's actually take a look at this thing. It's very well made, and while it is a lot bigger than the 1050 Ti I had, it is still quite a bit small for a high-end graphics card. It's really cool how much performance they've packed into this size. You wouldn't really be able to tell, but like here's like a Nintendo Switch case size comparison. It's really not that big at all. Anyway, we got these two fans on the top. Pretty nice large fans. And beneath those fans you can see the heatsink there, which you flip it forward. It's a very nice heatsink. Lots of fins. I'm no cooling expert. I can't really give you a good real review of it, but it definitely does look quality. Got some thick pipes back there. And definitely makes me feel confident. I heard the Dell cards are very good. They don't run hot or anything like that. Now on the top, we got the GeForce RTX branding, so you can flex. And we got the 8-pin PCIe power connector. I don't know if it's focusing. This phone's focus is kind of weird. We got the fan connectors, both of them plugged in. We got a back plate on the back. And a little chamber for the cooling, I guess. And on this side, you can just really see how thick the heat sink is. I don't know why I made that mistake there. And then on the left side, the side that you're going to probably see the most is the ports. So being a modern graphics card, we only get HDMI display port. We get one HDMI connector and 3 display port connectors. Now this is going to be a problem for me because my monitor is a VGA monitor, so I had to get an HDMI to VGA adapter. I do not have it in yet, so I actually cannot use this with my monitor yet, unfortunately. And besides that, I guess we'll so yeah, and then as well, we also can't use it today, unfortunately, mainly because of this right here. So the 3060 Ti draws, I think, about 200, well over 200 watts at max. And most of the time does probably about 150, I would say. And let's put it back in the box for now. The HP Z440 is kind of, well, all of the HP workstations are kind of interesting. The fact their GPU power delivery setup. So the power supply on my system has 2 6-pin connectors. And now most PC enthusiasts would know that an 8-pin connector can deliver a lot more power than a 6-pin. Typically a 6-pin is rated for 75 watts and an 8-pin is rated for 150. However, HP decided to do things a lot differently. They decided to just do 6-pin power connectors, but they built them way, way above the ATX spec. So the HP connectors can do up to around 220 watts on one 6-pin connector. And I'm not just making this up. If you look it online, there's a lot of discussion about it. And that's why HP sells single 6-pin to single 8-pin adapters. Normally, that's a very ghetto item that you would never want to actually use, but it does work as intended for stable running of your graphics card. You can also get a single 6-pin to a dual 6-pin adapter because the HP standard for 6-pin is about is like equivalent to 3 standard 6-pin connectors. So anyway, while my power supply is very much capable of running this beast, the connectors are not the same. Now, if you actually look at the pinout of the 6-pin and the 8-pin connector, you will see it's basically the same actually. The two extra pins for the 8-pin connector, one is a ground pin, the other one is a sensor pin to tell the graphics card whether it's plugged into a 6-pin or an 8-pin connector. Now, that means I could technically plug in my 6-pin connector to this card and feed it enough power, but would it actually boot without the sensor pin connected? I was curious to see if I could do that, and I also saw people online saying that you could short the ground and the sensor pin together to make it think it was plugged into an 8-pin connector. I actually got a paper clip out here, but I really don't want to do that with this nice of a graphics card. Like, even if it works just fine, what I might try to do is I might try to just plug in the 6-pin and see if it boots. If it doesn't, I'll have to wait for the adapter to come in. I don't know if I actually got a legitimate HP one. If I got a knockoff one, that might not be good because, you know, when you're dealing with a large amounts of power, you don't want to be using an adapter that's not built well. You don't know what kind of standards like a Chinese adapter would be made to. So with all that technical stuff out of the way, let's talk about this card and why I picked it. So, I have a GTX 1050 Ti in my system right now, and I've had that for 5 years. I got the 1050 Ti as a birthday gift 5 years ago, and I've loved it. It's played all of my games, but dude, there's always been limits to it. And you know, like for example, I play Assetto Corsa a lot. You know, I've seen videos of that on my channel, a couple of videos. When I'm doing large races with a bunch of, you know, AI opponents, single player races, the FPS definitely does get under 60. I'm not even playing on max settings. I'm playing on a mix of high and medium settings in Assetto Corsa. And then with other games as well, you know, there's been some limits. Also, now we're getting into the next generation games. You know, we have Forza Horizon 5 is I think the newest game I bought, and my 1050 Ti can't run that game amazing. It can run at 60 FPS with medium settings, and it still looks very good in that game. But you know, I do want more. I've had that card for a while, and the 3060 Ti has come down in price a ton. Also, the 6700 XT from AMD. It's come down in price ton. So whichever one was cheaper was the one I was going to get, and this was what I got. So obviously, being an RTX card, one of the features I'll be able to use is ray tracing, and I don't have a lot of games that support it, to be honest. The one I mainly think about, one most people probably think about, because it's the one that actually makes a substantial difference, and is Minecraft. So I definitely want to try Minecraft RTX, and just see some of the cool things you can do with that. In addition, this should help with making these videos quite a bit. Improve the rendering speed, I would assume. And yeah, and also be able just overall bump in graphics quality in games, being able to run them at a much higher frame rate. You know, especially I'm not even playing at 1080p, I'm playing at 1680 by 1050 if you want to see my monitor up there. And that way, you know, it's gonna be extremely high frame rates. I won't need to upgrade forever probably because, you know, I'm pretty happy with what I get. And just to think I have something as capable of this is just really, really cool. You know, this is a high-end graphics card. I mean, obviously the 40 series did just come out, but those are extremely expensive. 30 series is still really, you know, top of the line. And, you know, this is it's also, you know, it beats the 2080 Super. I mean, that card, you know, I never would have thought I would get something like that. And it's just a little bit behind the 2080 Ti, so this thing is going to be insane in gaming. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to using it. So I've spent a lot of time talking about it, I guess. I don't know when the next clip in this video will be, whether I'm actually trying it right now, or it will be in a couple of weeks when I get the adapter. We'll have to see. I might as well try it, though. I don't know. Alright, so it's been like a week since I last recorded, and I have my HDMI to VGA cable, and I actually originally got one that didn't work because it was not an active adapter. It didn't actually convert the analog, the digital HDMI signal to the analog VGA signal. It just was a cable with a VGA plug on one end and an HDMI on the other end. That meant it didn't actually do anything. So I had to wait and get another cable in, and now I have it. I don't have the power cable, but I did some research, and I think I mentioned in the previous clip of this video that it is safe to use an 8-pin powered graphics card with an HP computer, that HP workstation that has a 6-pin, because HP 6-pin connectors our power supplies are rated for a lot more power out of those 6-pin connectors than typical, so they can go up to like 216 watts or so, which is actually more than the standard is for even an 8-pin connector. So the only thing is, though, the graphics card has to let it do that. And some graphics cards will let you run it off of a 6-pin. Some of them will not, so I'm just going to try to plug it in and see if it works, because I do want to try testing this thing out anyway. So we're going to have to try it out, I guess. Alright, so got my phone's flash on so you can see what we're going to do here. So get my 1050 Ti out. I think I did in the last clip as well, but this is going to be a test run to see if it will boot with just a 6-pin power connector, because it might not. The 3060 Ti, I mean. Some cards do, some don't. No. There we go. Now, here it is. Just look at this thing. One final time before it goes in the computer. And here we go. There we go. Alright. Made that look a lot harder than it needed to be. Which one do we want to use? G2. Alright. So going like this. I'd like to use G2, but I might have to use G1. Alright, I'm gonna try. Plug it in and see if it posts like this. It might not. It might not. So alright, we'll do it with the cover off. There we go, it lights up. Now it might not post again. Just gonna prepare you for that, or prepare myself, to be honest. Oh my god, there it is! It posted without the 8-pin power connector, so there you go. If you know what you're doing, keyword. No, you really do have to know. Because if you plug it in wrong, you will blow it up. So you gotta be careful. But there it is. Very quickly, I'm installing the 52225 driver, which is the best recent NVIDIA driver because it adds actually pretty good performance increase. You can get about 10 FPS more in some games. And all the other ones after this suck because older versions of Minecraft are completely broken, and that's the game I play the most. So this is like the peak NVIDIA driver, 522.25. You got an NVIDIA graphics card. This is the one you should use right now. It says the CJ386 approved driver version, not whatever 5. I think it's like 37 they're on right now. Avoid that until they fix some of the problems. Express, yeah, we'll just update because I already have it. Dude, I just got a 3060 Ti. I don't need a damn 4080. Get these advertisements out of here. But yeah, we're going to check out some RTX, I guess. I don't know what we're going to do first. It'd be hilarious if they advertise like a 3060 Ti or something to me. Actually, no, what if it's intelligent? Like, oh, you know, he has this now, so we're not going to advertise that. We're going to advertise another thing. I don't know. I'm just ranting, am I? Well, we'll just let this install. I'm sorry about the shaky camera work. But, alright. And by the way, this thing is going to be cleaned out extensively. Not tonight, though. I'm tired. Actually, you can't pick it up on this, but it is dusty as heck. Well, you kind of can. I don't know. It's my amazing GPU collection. We got the 3060 Ti, we got the 1050 Ti, and the GeForce 210. Oh my god. The size difference between these graphics cards really misleads you about how much more capable one of these is to the other. No hate to the GeForce 210 though. I mean, it had its purpose. Even though it's like the internet's least favorite graphics card, though. I happen to have one, so I don't know. It's good for, you know, just computing, not playing games. Anyway, now that I just rambled about that, we're actually done with the update for the driver, so we should be able to let's take a look at the control panel and see if it says 522.25. Hold on. Home button. There we go. We're updated. Alright, now I'm going to shut the computer off, put the side panel back on, and I'm going to do some gaming. Actually, I know what we're going to be doing. Maybe, well, hold on, we'll figure this out. Alright everybody, so first thing I did was I went to Minecraft RTX just to check out how it looked, and I'm actually here a couple weeks later commenting over this footage because I made a big goof here. I was recording with my NVIDIA Live Gamer portable capture card, and this is something I haven't actually really done on my PC before, so I thought I had set up my mic correctly. I looked in the recording software, it looked all correct, and it just didn't record, so I don't know what else to say except I'm sorry. But anyway, let's talk about what we saw here. So this was obviously my first experience with ray tracing, and I mean it was very impressive. I mean it just loaded in, it worked. We're recording at 30 frames per second here, but I was getting a block 60. There's a couple of areas where it did drop, but it was a good stable frame rate. As you can see, everything was very pretty. The colors were amazing. Of course, the reflections. But obviously, there's more impressive areas that I also did take a look at. So, particularly if I actually walked into this house. Oh, no, I did not. But I feel like, I did actually. Dark areas, well, I'm playing around here. Dark areas are very, very impressive. Just the way the light, beams through the opening in the fence there. The fire over there, then the stairs, how dark they are. Just everything is just so pretty. And of course, I mean, just think about all these shadows and reflections are being drawn real time, simulating how light actually works. And I just think that is very fascinating. And so I spent some time looking around this house here. I also checked out some other areas too, so if I scroll through this video clip I had, if I can find it. Some water. It was kind of bugging out, as you can see. It was like some weird fading, like phasing with the shadows. It was very odd. Apparently, this is just a bug. Minecraft RTX is actually a little bit buggy, but this is very pretty here. Just the shininess of everything underwater. And I think, do we have any footage of the other maps? Maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, this is definitely is one of the things that makes this card very much worth it to me. I would have to say though, I'm a bit disappointed with Minecraft RTX, not with the graphics obviously, but it's still very limited. It's been out for 2 years now. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. My throat's kind of dry, but like I said, it's been out for 2 years, but you can't make your own world with it. You still have to use the specific worlds that are made for Minecraft RTX. And I don't really understand that. I mean, they had, plenty of time now. It is still very cool, though. And I actually didn't get Neon District working, even though you can see me trying to download it here. I think I had to restart my computer. It was being weird. Like, I would turn on ray tracing and everything would just go black. I don't know if I have any footage of it working, but yeah, here it is. This is what I was dealing with here. It was just black. This did go away, though. So, it's, like I said, not bug-free. But there are definitely other games out there where there are better ray tracing implementation. But even still, in 2023 now, it's still in its infancy. Although it is changing, like Fortnite just got a huge ray tracing update, if you haven't seen that. But anyways, that's it for this portion of the video. There will be more in-depth, actually, benchmarks comparing my 3060 Ti to my 1050 Ti later on. But we're going to head over to me cleaning out my 1050 Ti. See, we got my GTX 1050 Ti right here. That's because we're going to be cleaning this thing out. I'm going to be comparing the two, like in the later part of the video, and to be able to do that, I always have to put it back in the computer. But before I do that, I want it to be in good shape, because for a while I won't be using this thing, and I want it to be in good shape. You can't actually really see right now because of the lighting, but if I turn on my flash for a second, that is not very pretty, and there's a ton of dust around the fan blades, but also in the heat sink as well, the black heat sink. And then also on these little filters and capacitors in there, they got dust all over them as well. So I'm probably gonna have to completely disassemble this thing. And it would not hurt to repaste it. The only thing is, I've been using the same tube of thermal paste for all the stuff. Like, if you saw the video I made last year where I changed the CPU in my computer, I still have that one tube. I actually did get another tube that just randomly came in the mail one time. But it's by a brand called Hallen's Eye. So it's like a no-name thermal paste. So I don't know, I'll use it. I'm not someone who's normally like super, concerned with thermal paste. It looks like it's alright. I did look it up. But maybe I'll be able to use the Arctic MX4. Maybe I'll have enough of it to actually paste this thing. Who knows? It's nice. I'm pretty sure this being a, like a mid-range card from back in 2017, and it being like a low profile, it's not going to be using the thermal pads, and that's good because I don't have any, so I can't replace those on here if I needed to. And with that out being said, I'm going to get started. So I don't have any compressed air, so we're not going to do that. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to tear it down, and I'm going to use a brush to just try to get all the dust out. And now, unfortunately, we're not going to have temperature comparisons or anything like that. It was actually running pretty good when I had it in the computer. I think it got up to around 70 or so, which is, expected for a graphics card. It's not really crazy. But I want it to be in the best shape it can be. And, it serves me well. Since I've used my computer so much and I've had this thing for 5 years, I should pay it back by giving it a little bit of TLC. So let's get right to it. Alright, room is a bit messy, but you can see what I'm doing. So I got my card here, and we're going to just start brushing the fans, this might not actually get that much out, but I already tried doing this before, I'm pretty sure, so my actually. Oh, you got a little bit of it coming out. Okay, there we go. Actually, this is a good amount in the trash here already. Alright, yeah, that's, look at this. I mean, that is incredible. Just out of me brushing the fans. This thing needs a lot of cleaning. Now, I know, like, with, typically with, like, CPUs, for example, you have a specific order in which you have to unscrew things. See, the only screws here are around the actual GPU itself, so I would assume it would be similar, but there's no labeling, so I guess I'm just going to have to be careful and just hopefully I'm doing it right. What kind of bit do we got on this? Very small Phillips. It actually should be. Yeah, it's not really pitching on. I gotta get a better screw bit here. This screw bit I got here, I mean, actually, this kit of screws and tools is amazing. It's like, it was only like $20, and it's got more than the iFixit kit, which you see all those, big YouTubers advertise. And that thing costs more money. This thing is just incredible value. And if people want, I could post a link to it on the description. It wasn't hard to find. It was just on Amazon. It's like it's like 100 screws or 50 screws or something like that. Okay, here we go. We're getting this to come out. So I got this sticker here. It's warranty void sticker, I think. Mine is already 5 years old, so I don't think MSI really care. But these stickers are stupid. Like, honestly, I'm just cleaning it. I mean, there are a lot of stupid things people can do with their graphics cards, so I kind of understand it. There we go. The board is already falling apart here, so there's the GPU, and I gotta unplug the fan. Actually, no, I was kind of stupid now that I think about it. I could have just unscrewed it from the side, but you live and learn, I guess. Alright, there we are. It's gonna come off. Yeah, here's the. Actually, it's very small. I mean, I know it's gonna be, but this is the, what? I think it's the NVIDIA GP107 GPU. I don't know if you can really see it right here. And, yep. There it is. This thermal paste is in tough shape. Let's take a look at this stuff. So here it is. Now you can clearly see it. And, I mean, it's just all grinded and stuff. Like, Jesus. It's barely covering anything. And, there's all these caps. Got huge dust bunnies all over them. Let me see if it's the GP107, if I remember correctly. We'll do that in a second. I gotta brush things first. Can't find my brush. Like you do, you just lose your things when you need them. Come on. What did I do? Now this naked graphics card here. I got nothing to clean it with. Oh, here it is. My bad. Alright. Yeah. I think these are all 1 GB chips because the card has 4 gigs of RAM total, so. Alright. Here I am with my wet towel and I'm gonna clean off the chip here. Just throw that out, and I'll show you what I've done. Here we are. There's the brain behind the graphics card, the NVIDIA GP107, and it looks pretty good shape. Except for those SMDs over there, maybe it just looks like there's some crap. I think actually using a brush would probably be good for that. Yeah, it's alright. The bottom line is it's a lot cleaner than it was. It's really, I don't know, it's too much. It's crazy how small everything is nowadays. I mean, this isn't even the newest technology. This is NVIDIA Pascal architecture, which came out in 2016. And now we're almost in 2023, so, and you know, this is, well, I think this is a 14 nanometer chip here, and now, you know, with GPUs, I think we're down to like 5 nanometer with the, I don't know, the RTX 4000 and RX 7000 GPUs, so it's crazy. Anyway, let's continue with cleaning this thing up. So now they're done with the actual GPU itself, graphics card and whatever. Let's deal with the cooling solution. So we have this big metal block here. It's got this black coating on it. Oh, it's dropping dust everywhere. And you can see where the actual GPU goes. And then we got the actual extruded pieces of metal here. So we're gonna have to tear this down, get the plastic part with the fans off, so we can clean the actual heatsink. And we, of course, we gotta get rid of the thing of paste on there as well. All right. Alright, I'm back like an hour later and things have gone to crap. Because I have this one screw that, I don't know if you can really see it, but battery too low to use flash. Wow, that's amazing. The screw right here, and you know, it just would get stuck. So I tried using a bunch of different bits to get it out, and I ended up stripping it, so now it's completely stuck on there. And I almost tried ripping off the cover, but you know, I'm too sensible to do that. I'm just gonna break it, and these things are probably worth at least $40 because you know how expensive graphics card coolers are because they're unique. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm so pissed off. I spent like an hour trying to do it. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I'm trying to take off that screw because I'm a determined person. There's just no reason to over tighten stuff like that. I mean, you know, these devices are supposed to be, you know, don't you want people to take care of their things? Well, to be able to do that requires means cleaning them, which means tearing down the device. And when you do stupid shit like making the screws impossible to take off, you prevent people from taking care of their devices properly. So I'm gonna give up on this for now because I'm tired. I've just wasted all of my energy on that. I don't feel like doing anything else now. So maybe hopefully I'll come back to this with some solution. I mean, this is just the most ridiculous thing ever. Like a screw is going to stop me from this entire thing now, it seems. So now I'm just going to leave this bare GPU out here, which is probably a terrible idea, but I'm not going to put it back together. I'm not going to do it because I have no energy. So, jeez. Alright, everybody, we are back a day later, and I've had some time to relax and think. And I finally got an idea. I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but we're going to try the old trick of if something doesn't come off, just put it under hot water. So I'm going to rinse this thing under hot water, see if I can finally get this thoroughly stripped screw now out of here. Alright, I got it out, but not in the best way. I had to put like one of those plastic picks in between the heatsink and the plastic fan assembly, and I just pulled it out and I cracked it right here. So I did get the heatsink out. We're gonna get to cleaning it, but geez, I probably should not have done that. But I just really did not want to wait. I didn't think if there's any way for me to get it out. So yeah.
Okay. So they're not there?
Yeah, alright, I got the trash bin finally, and I tried taking out the screw after I got the the fan off, and you cannot see what I've done, but I've literally scratched a huge hole with the needle nose pliers, and I still have not gotten it off. So I mean, this is just insane, the amount of tightness that's on that screw. But I'm gonna ignore that for now and just actually clean. I can do that. It's been such a pain in the butt. Well, this is definitely an improvement, and I think that's pretty clear. This has a bit more to go, though, so I'm going to take this in the bathroom. See what I can do. Alright, we're back. And I got it all cleaned up. It's very good. Still trying to get the screw out. I don't think I'm going to be able to. It's just ridiculous. So, I'm going to put it back together now. And hopefully, actually, the one thing we do need to do is we need to repaste the GPU. And yeah, here it is. I got my thermal paste actually. Bring it all over here, and you can see what I'm doing. First, before I do any of that, I'm going to try to reassemble the cooler. So it goes like this, because the GPU is at the bottom half of the bottom portion of the die, and I don't know why this thing is not focusing right, really. And then you can see the screws here are all at the bottom, so it means it's going to be like this. And the fans are to the right side, and you got the plug on the top left. Put this all back in, should be okay to go. Alright, got it all back together. I couldn't really show screwing in the last part because I did something very stupid, to be honest. I put on the thermal paste without putting the screws in on the bottom, so I could have just, put the heatsink on after the fact and just. But you know what? You live and learn. It's alright. The only thing, though, is that there's a bulge right here because of that screw, so it looks kind of weird. Not really. It's not something you notice when you're just looking at it at a distance like this. So we're going to try putting this back in the system just to make sure it works, and that will be the end of this portion of the video, which is way longer than it should have been. Alright, so I got the thing back in the computer. You can't see, obviously, because it's just the lighting is so dark, but here we are. I got hardware info 64 on. I don't think my computer likes the hot swapping of GPUs that has occurred, but you can see the resolution is very low. But let's take a look at these temps. This is pretty good crap right here. 32 degrees Celsius. Now, for a normal person, that's probably steaming, but for a computer part, that's pretty damn good. Alright everybody, so now we're going to take a look at the benchmarks I did comparing both these graphics cards to see what actual performance gain I got. So before we get started, I want to go over a couple of things. The first thing is that these are not meant to be definitive benchmarks between these two. Like, you shouldn't watch this video really if you're considering upgrading yourself, because there are a couple of things that do limit the performance, namely my CPU and also the RAM, maybe a little bit because it's running at slower speed, not too much though with these kind of graphics cards. And then also, this is running at the 1680 by 1050 resolution because that's what my monitor uses. And before we get started, I want to just go over these computer specs. So I have the HP Z440 workstation, obviously, and inside we have a Xeon E5 2640V3 running at 3.4 GHz. The RAM is 16 GB of Samsung DDR4 ECC registered memory running at 1866 megatransfers. We got Windows 10 installed in this computer, and all my games are running on a 7200 RPM hard drive. Now let's take a look at the results. The first game we're looking at is a pretty popular one, at least it was. It's kind of fallen off a little bit, but it's still a very fun game. It is definitely a GPU demanding game. Forza Horizon 5. I did the San Juan Scramble race. I didn't want to just do the built-in benchmarks for each of these games. I wanted to get a realistic experience of what it's actually going to be like to play. So we're running in extreme settings here. I didn't want to do ray tracing to be fair to the 1050 Ti. And 4x anti-aliasing. So in the 1050 Ti, on average, we got 20 frames a second. You got 17 for the 1% lows and 2 for the 0.1% lows. So not the best experience. On the 3060 Ti, we got 94 for average, 74 for 1% lows, and 62.5 for 0.1% lows. Now, this game is definitely can be a very good experience still in the 1050 Ti. You just gotta turn the settings down a bit. When I had the 1050 Ti installed in my computer, I would play at a mix of medium and low settings. And this game, being a very pretty looking game, it still looked very nice actually. And I would get over 60, no problem. It was still a very good experience. I just wanted to show with the 3060 Ti, you can get a noticeable bump in visual fidelity and still get very good performance. And actually, I was able to drive the car just fine at 20 frames on the 1050 Ti. I got second place in the race, so not too bad. Next game we're looking at is CSGO on Dust 2, everybody's favorite map, on maximum settings. And we actually did get a performance increase in this game, but not too noticeable. We got 251 FPS on the 3060 Ti, 50 more than the 1050 for the average, but the 1% lows and the 0.1% lows, as you can see, are basically exactly the same. And that's because CSGO is not a very graphically demanding game. It is about 12 years old, I'm pretty sure, 11, 12 years old. So it mainly uses your CPU. So obviously, if I had a better CPU in this computer, not that it's a bad CPU, but it's not got the best single thread performance, which a game like CSGO really needs. So we're not reaching the full potential of either of these graphics cards in this game, but regardless, we do see a little bit of an improvement for the 3060 Ti, but still a very, very good experience on both of the cards here. Third game is World of Tanks. We did the second tutorial level because I finished the first one and I didn't realize you can't go back and play it after the fact. So that means that I couldn't benchmark it on both cards. So I tried to just do the second one and make sure that I didn't finish it. So this is at maximum settings. We're just using SD textures because I didn't want to have to download the HD ones. It still looks very good regardless. So 74 average on the 1050 Ti, 58 1% lows, 47.1% lows. Very good experience still, above 60 most of the time. But the 3060 Ti absolutely destroys it. About 250 average, 1% lows of 168, and 0.1% lows of 122. So a completely different class of performance. You can run the game uncapped and get buttery smooth gameplay on World of Tanks. So that's pretty good. The next game we're looking at is Minecraft, and to be clear, this is the Java edition, not the one we were looking at earlier with ray tracing. It's the newer one, the Bedrock edition. The one we're looking at here is the classic one that people who play on PC mostly play. So They have a 16 chunk render distance, 5 chunk simulation, and we're also using Optifine, like it says in our little graphic here. So I was pretty disappointed by this. We got the same average frame rate. And the average frame rate's actually not the problem I have this game, because there's a pretty big problem I have. It's the 1% lows, and mainly the 0.1% lows. On the 1050 Ti, you can see it's 24 frames per second, 43 on the 3060 Ti, but that's not really definitive. It's kind of unstable. Sometimes it's a lot lower. But you get these stutters like every 5 seconds. And no matter what card I use, I have this problem. That is obviously because Minecraft is just like CSGO, a CPU-bound game. So I just need a bit more single-thread performance, and I just have to say, this game is kind of a mess right now. Like, it's a block game. You shouldn't be having such performance issues on hardware like I have, but that's what we got, so that's what it is. Minecraft will run fine if you have a good CPU on either of these cards. So that's basically all I have to say for this game. Our last game is Project Cars 2. We took the Porsche 935 out on the classic Spa Frankenshaw racetrack. And as you can see, another dominating victory for the 3060 Ti here. For the 1050 Ti, we got 62 FPS for the average, 45 for the 1% low, and 44 for the 0.1% low. 172 average for the 3060 Ti, 127 for the 1% lows, and 113 for the 0.1% lows. So still a very playable experience on the 1050 Ti, and just like Forza, if you drop the settings to about, actually just high in this game, you can get up well above 60 in pretty much every scenario, except during when it's raining. I found that it does drop. The 3060 Ti, meanwhile, handles this game like a champ. No matter what you throw at it, it will run it just fine. Now that is the end of these benchmarks, and thus the end of the video. So I am very happy with this card. It's run very well, and I hope you enjoyed watching my adventures trying to install this thing. We got some more computer content coming up soon as well, so if you like what you see on this channel, do be sure to subscribe. So see you guys in the next video.